It's January, and January is normally slow. It's very slow. So slow, there's only two of us here today. It's me and Gary. My brother's ill again.
12-year-old girl who can't stop sneezing.
Man's probably got an immune deficiency of some sort, but I can feel like it's coming on again. Seems like there's more flipping a virus in this place than his staff. Anyway, just me and Gary on the shop floor, nobody else in. We're about to lay one lad off. Nobody's putting any orders in. So, but it's January, it normally happens. So it's giving us a bit of time to talk about costings, but we've obviously got to get through January, getting the same amount of production out, normal amount of production out, with virtually no staff. So it led me to ask the question, well, what do you need to start your own factory? And well, we've got a lot of kids here. I mean, you've seen it all running, you've seen it all being operated. So what does it actually cost to set something up like this? We won't bother talking about the tooling, because the tooling's technically, it's not ours. We're responsible for it if it gets damaged, if it gets lost or nicked or stolen or scrapped off. It is our responsibility, but we don't pay for it to have it made. But we have bought and paid for all of the machines on the shop floor. Luckily for us, we bought pretty much everything. As people was getting rid of their old kits, we bought it off them. It was either heading towards the scrap yard, or it was just being sold off for space. And we got some pretty decent kits that were still usable. Some of it was a bit iffy and needed repairing, but you can repair this if you've got the spare time. I mean, I've got a big bandsaw over here. This thing was 200 quid, and the bloke that we bought it off didn't want it anymore because there was a little problem with the motor on the back. All it needed was a little bit of welding. We got a chap next door to weld it for us. Bang, bish bash bosh, 600 quid bandsaw for 200 quid with a small repair. This one is a surface grinder. Again, this was being scrapped off because there was a problem with the table. It wasn't moving very well and it was rocking a little bit, so you don't need that, because what you end up with is chatter on the top, and the surface of your part starts bouncing off the bottom of the grinder as it's going through. But we got it repaired, 150 quid. This one, this Elga turret mirror. Again, this was another one being scrapped off because somebody bought something else and they needed it out of the way, and it was heading towards the scrap yard. We got that for 400 quid. I mean, that's a bit of a bargain. This one, the CNC, Bridgeport with a hide name controller. This was £15,000. Now, this was a customer's of ours. We never actually bought this. The customer bought it so that they could start making prototypes. They was doing window furniture, sash jammers, window jammers, and we was going to make the tooling for them. We got the talent, we got the skill, so we was able to do it. Gary and Nick had trained as tool makers, and so we convinced the customer to buy this so that they could do the prototypes, £15,000, because they was going to spend about £20,000 to £30,000 in prototypes. So he says, instead of you doing that, why don't you just buy this machine, we'll do the prototypes for you for free, and as long as you give us free use of the machine. That's what we did. The company subsequently got sold to somebody else. As part of the deal, we did negotiate. I will, as long as we get the work for the production parts that I was doing, then we would do all the design work and all the manufacturing and all that sort of stuff at a discount. Subsequently, that company got sold, which meant we ended up with this CNC machine as part of the deal when it all got broken up and sold off. What else have we got? Machinery wise, this was a 200 quid foot operated guillotine, various lineages. Those was around about 60-70 quid a piece. That one was brand new. We ended up paying 200 quid for that one. That's lovely. You probably played with one of those at school. Bench grinders, lineages. Getting a little bit of a collection, polishing machine. This lineager was 200 quid, pneumatically tensioned and with a big motor in between, and you've got two bands here so that you can do all of that. Herbert, Herbert was free. We've saved that from the scrapyard as well. Somebody wanted to get shots of it. So we ended up taking that in, and it's been absolutely amazing. That thing's rock solid. The presses, again, the old man got that one and that one as they was being thrown out of somebody else's factory, and we stopped the scrap man just scrapping them off. We took them in, gave him a few quid to take them to a unit over Wednesbury. Eventually we got the same deal with this one. I mean, there's a lot of kit here that is very decent. These are all obsolete now. They've only recently, in the past 5 years I think, rendered them obsolete. This is the only one that we actually paid for, and that went for 700 quid on eBay. Our brother bought it, and it came here, got it delivered. Little fly presses, I mean, these are like, 80 quid a piece, and this was all, again, tool makers' rooms, press shop rooms, they all get shut down, and people have got to get the bits out, so they've got to move them quickly, so you end up picking these up for pretty damn cheap. They're pretty useful. Now they're die casting machines. Number 8. Again, all the pneumatic stuff we got as a part of somebody else getting rid of old machinery that they didn't want to repair in favour of something newer to put on their shop floor. And now the pneumatic stuff, again, all being scrapped off. I can see, you can probably see there's a bit of a theme going here. Everything gets scrapped off, it comes here, we fix it and then stick it on the shop floor. Same with this one again. Somebody else wanted to get rid of it, it was heading towards the scrapyard. We got this one. Same with the 12, and every single one of them works perfectly. You can still get all the bits and pieces for them, parts and stuff. And the same goes, it's not quite the same story, but these we actually bought. We actually bought 2 of these. One of them we ended up scrapping off for some reason. This one here is not too bad at all. I mean, the other one that we did end up scrapping off, and we got all the parts up the top for, was the better machine, but somebody decided this one got serviced last, so this is the best machine. Turns out it was, just because it was serviced doesn't mean it was the best one. I believe the other one that we did scrap off, that pot, you've probably seen in a previous video, had jacks on it. This one doesn't, and that all got scrapped off, which is a bit of a shame. This one, the 120, again being scrapped off. Somebody else wanted to put in a freck to replace this one, and this has been the bane of my brother's life. He hates this machine with a passion. I don't even think you can say he hates it with a passion. I mean, he would happily see this thing get bombed. If it was a person, he would say that this is Keir Starmer. He cannot fucking stand this machine. He hates it. It causes him so many problems. But at the end of the day, it still works. It carries on doing what we need it to do, and the repairs that it does to them, they cost pennies to repair. It's just the time and effort that it takes to fix the damn things. You already know these machines, you've seen them before. What does it cost to put one on the shop floor? Well, they're old. You can't get them anymore. At all, anywhere. There might be a few that still exist in America, but you can't get them anymore. If you was to buy one brand new, if they still existed, the 180, which is that one, the big one, it would be about £250,000 brand new. We got it for scrap value because it was being chucked out, which is a bit of a good deal. If we wanted to replace it with something else, we'd have to dig deep. If you wanted to buy something like that for second hand, you're looking around about, if it's in the same condition as that, £40,000. It's a lot of money. A lot of money for a second hand piece of kit that you are going to repair on a daily basis. This one's pretty damn good. We don't have to repair it on a daily basis. All the newer stuff, which is probably about 20 years old. I mean, that one was made in the 80s. If it's 20 years younger, 25, 30 years younger, they take a hell of a lot of looking after, and they generally don't survive much past 5-10 years after they've been bought and made and purchased. You generally find that they get scrapped off because they just take so much maintenance. These don't. These are fucking solid. Same goes for the 120. Even though it's a pain in the arse, it still costs you the best part brand new, £250,000. They still made them. An equivalent one from a Freck or Bueller would cost around about the same thing. Again, brand new, you're looking at about 100,000 for that one, maybe 80 for that one, maybe 60 for that one. So you've got all this kit here just on the Foundry side. You're talking the best part of what, £750,000 worth of kit there, just to do the die casting. And there's all the cages you need, spare parts, tools you need to set up, machinery that you need to finish off the jobs. We offer the tapping and the linishing operations and vibroing, and obviously the tooling area to do the repairs on the tools. All of this, you're looking in excess of around about £1.5 million in kit before you make a casting. Then you've got to find work. And everybody wants it cheap. That isn't a problem, as long as the machines are running every day. If they don't run every day, then that £1.5 million that you're going to spend in kit is going to start burning a hole in your pocket, and this then just becomes a woodman's. Every machine needs to run every day. If you can't get them to run every day, you don't have a business to start with. So if you're going to set out £1.5 million worth of kit, and let's just go with the one of the jobs that we've got that goes on the number 12, which is that one. What type of job does that run? It runs this one. It runs this hinge. That's the arm, and that's the base. These two parts go on one casting with a 2 impression tool, 2+2, which looks like that. Each of these hinges as a set, one arm and one base, costs 85p. The 12, brand new, buying it brand new, you're looking at £100,000, £150,000 to make something that's going to cost you that you can sell for 85p. Would you put your hand in your pocket to buy a machine that can only make 2,000 of those a day? You're only going to turn over 1,700 quid a day if it runs every day, all the time, no breakdowns. You've got to ask yourself, is it worth it? Well, yeah it is. Yeah it is. How much do you reckon you've spent in buying all this machinery? If you was to buy it,
50p.
If you was to buy it again tomorrow, how much would it
Buy
cost?
again tomorrow? 300,000, 250,000, by modern standards.
Yeah.
This is buying the best machines, obviously,
Yeah.
not the Chinese shit. So, 150,
Yeah.
150, 100, 80.
Yeah.
That's just the die casting machine.
And then to make something that costs 85p, that's even worth it, isn't it? You spend £1.5 million to
But it's
buy all these
okay
machines.
if you're doing 4 million parts a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you'd have to run 3 shifts. So you've got to run either. Well, if you go robot, it's probably not. You could go robot if the product's right. Even Elon Musk has replaced robots with people on some of his production lines.
Was it? Let's see now. Fucking hell. I didn't mean Elon, I meant Gary. So, you want to start a factory? Dig deep.
the dark.